another aspect of coordinate geometry will be area of triangle, and specifically I'm talking about, let's look at now our table. The formula for the area, there it is, area of triangle in coordinate geometry. Let's have a look. A line cuts the x-axis at a point A and 0, and the y-axis at point B, 0 and B, where A and B belong to Z. What that means that this value and this value are whole numbers. They could be negative or positive, but they are not fraction, no decimal. The slope of line is -2/3. Okay. So first numerical information, they give us a slope of that line. The area of triangle enclosed by this line, the x-axis and the y-axis, is 12 square units. Now, when I'm doing, well, not only coordinate geometry, when I'm doing anything, I very often like to do the drawing. And they're actually saying it might be useful to draw a diagram, okay? There are two different lines that satisfy this condition. Find the equation of each of these lines. So basically, I'm looking for the equation of a line. So I know that for the equation of the line, either I have a slope, isn't it? Because I actually do have a slope of that line. So I'm only looking for that value of C. What is the value of C? This is the place where the graph cuts the y-axis, or the other formula that has to do with the equation of a line. I need a slope, which I have, and I need a point. Yeah, any of those will work. Now, let's have a think. How is that going to look like? So I have the x and the y-axis, and it cuts at 2 points. Now, having a negative slope, what does that mean? That my line will be going down. So either it goes down like that, or the other version that it can go down like that. All right? So either this way or this way. That's how the line can go. So if that is point B, and that is 0 and B, and then that is point A, and that will be A and 0. And the same here, that would be point A, that would be point B. So this is our two versions that we are concerned with. So they are giving us the area of the triangle, basically this triangle. Whether we look at it this way or that way, that area will be the same, 12 square units. So when they are giving you numerical information, that's for a reason to solve it. So how did they calculate the area? Always remember, when they give you an answer, you have to ask yourself a question, well, how they got that answer. So that is the formula for the area of triangle. And here we don't have to actually do anything with this triangle, because the condition for this area of triangle is what? That one of the vertex of the triangle is at point 0, 0, and we have that here. Okay, so what are our points? So we are saying that formula, so a half multiply, and what are those? This is coordinate of one point, and this is coordinate of the second point. What point do I have? I have point, let's say A and 0, and then I have point B, which is 0 and B. Okay, so if I replace that, I put A multiplied by what? B minus the x coordinate 0 multiplied by the y coordinate of the second point 0. So basically I have a half multiply A multiplied by B, and then let's not forget that equal 12. Okay, so I'm saying, right, when I have absolute value bracket, I can either use power of 2 or consider, especially if I have only one of them, consider two version. Even to make that simpler, I can say, you know what, let's multiply by 2 both sides of the equation so that we eliminate. So if I multiply here by 2, I eliminate fraction and multiply this by 2. So that means that I am left with absolute value bracket AB equal 24. So we can either use power of 2 or consider what's inside that bracket as a positive value, or we can consider as a negative value. Yeah, because absolute value bracket means that what's inside could be positive or negative. That's basically mean AB equal 24, or minus AB equal 24, whichever way we want to look at it. Okay, but that's not enough. I need a second equation because I have two letters. I need two equations. So the second equation, numerical value that they gave me is a slope. So I'm saying, okay, how about formula for the slope? Let's get that. So that's my formula for the slope here. So again, my two values, so that's my 1 point, my second point. So if we stick with the same idea, my first point was what? A and 0, and my second point was 0 and B. So if I use that, and the slope was what? Minus 2 over 3, that will equal the y value b minus the y value here 0, and then x value here 0 minus a. Okay, so that means minus 2 over 3 equal b minus a. We can do it that way, or it can be the whole fraction minus b a. So I can have it that way. And then I can say to myself, you know what, let's multiply that by minus 1 so that I don't have to worry about this minus. So 2 over 3 equal BA. And my second equation, A multiplied by B, is 24. So how do I solve this simultaneous equation? Well, I have to get rid of one letter. Here, for example, I can cross multiply it to A equal 3B. And then here I can say, you know what, how about I don't know, divide by A or divide by B. I can do it that way, or I can use that first equation. If I want to, let's see here, I'm going to substitute for A. So divide by 2. So the value of B here, so A is equal 3 over 2B. So I can replace that B here, or that A, my apologies, that A with 3 over 2B multiply by B equal 24. Now, let's not forget that I have that second version, yeah, with the minus. So I will be considering, but it's enough for me to solve. Oh, well, let's replace that. So 3 over 2B multiplied by B, that there is minus here, equal 24. So I have the two versions for the two values of B. So that means what? I can divide both sides by 3 over 2. What is wrong with my pen today? 3 over 2, divide that by 3 over 2. The same here, divide that by minus 3 over 2, divide that by 3 minus 2. So I am left here with B to the power of 2. Oh yeah, we're going to actually, guys, leave that minus in here because we don't want a complex number. So 24 divided by 3 over 2. Let's put that in the calculator. Let's see what the value do we get. My apologies, I had to check. We get 16. So one value of B, if I take a square root of the other side, then I am getting 4 here. Again, minus B, and I take a square root of that. That is 4, therefore B is minus 4. So I have my two values of B, 4 and minus 4. Therefore, I have two corresponding values of A. Where is that? 3 over 2B. 3 over 2B. Now, actually, hold on. Do we really need value of A? Where is our B? Our B is here. I actually don't need value of A. I just need value of B. Why? Because I know the slope here. All I need is this value here. And that's my B. That's my B value. So I know that in one version that is minus 4, and then in the other version that is plus 4. So that means my two equation will be y equal, the slope is the same for both of them, minus 2 over 3x, minus 2 over 3x. The only difference, one will be plus 4 and the other one will be minus 4. That's the only difference between line 1 and line 2. So very interesting question, very interesting take. Simultaneous equation, like I often say to you, simultaneous equation are going to be there not only in algebra, but as well very often in coordinate geometry. You're not going to escape simultaneous equation. You need to know how to solve them, because eventually that's what we had here. We had one equation because we had letter A and B, and then we had the second equation, and actually both of them we had to create ourselves from the formula given.